After the floodwaters recede and destructive winds weaken, hurricanes can leave behind a silent but suffocating threat. By studying the last 35 hurricanes to strike North Carolina, marine scientist Hans Paerl has reached a startling conclusion. Tropical cyclones can help breed toxic algal blooms. We asked him why.
So in the paper we described 20 plus years of storm events that we've experienced in North Carolina because we established a monitoring program back in 1994 to look at changes that are going on in water quality in our estuarine and coastal environments.
The wind got up strong a couple times, but the water was a big thing.
If the storm is really huge, like Floyd for example, or even Florence, the amount of fresh water coming through is so huge that it simply washes the salt water out of the system into the coastal zone. But of course, if you're getting a lot of nutrients coming in at the same time, like fertilizers, for example, animal waste, urban stormwater runoff, those nutrients, some of them, or a large portion of them, will get deposited into the system. And ultimately, the floodwaters recede, leaving the nutrients, and we see the problems with algal blooms for months or even years afterwards. It's a great environment for algae that like fresh water. And those are the cyanobacteria, or the blue-green algae, which generally start up in the reservoirs and upstream in many of our coastal environments. And they tend to form these massive paint-like scums on the surface. I'm sure people have seen them. We can use those pigments to actually identify who's there and how much of the algae are there to tell us whether we have bad players in the algal community. The problem with cyanobacterial blooms is that they can produce toxins that can be dangerous to fish, shellfish, but also humans. But they also lead to very large amounts of oxygen depletion in the bottom water when they sink to the bottom after they die. For example, oysters, clams, and even crabs have a hard time living under those low oxygen conditions. Since the mid-90s, these storm events have increased both in frequency and also in severity. You know, we can't change the storms, at least not very quickly. That's a long-haul kind of thing with global warming and issues of greenhouse gases. So, you know, it simply means the bar is higher in terms of how we need to treat nutrients now on land. It's always been a challenge, but the challenge is even greater now.